said that the current situation that Assam is dealing with this entire influx and people of Bangladeshi origin residing in Assam and putting pressure on the local indigenous population is a result of the Congress's appeasement policy. He also brought the Madurai Deepam issue where he said that when the court orders are sidelined and a judge is impeached because of the order passed, and Mr. Gogoi is one of the signatories among the 109 MPs who moved for the judge's impeachment, that just smacked of appeasement, brazen appeasement. Then when pushed on Mrs. Gogoi, he said that he has concrete evidence and he will be tabling that very, very soon. He was just waiting for a few more papers internationally that would absolutely, irrefutably establish the claims that he is making and his government is making. And he said that it is nothing personal. It is when somebody acts against the interest of the country, despite being a citizen of Bharat, then that person should be brought to account. And he said that even if it was somebody from his own family or he himself tomorrow working with entities inimical to Bharat, then he should be he is not above reproachment. And that anybody should be pulled up for it, irrespective of whether it is somebody's son, wife, or they themselves. And he said that he has concrete evidence against Mrs. Gogoi, and he is open to any form of legal suit or defamation, etc. When he was speaking further on with our Assam counterpart and Parag Muni there. So he spoke at length on it, and he said that in the coming days, he is going to be presenting hard, irrefutable, concrete evidence of the claims that he is making. And he says that, yes, even today, Mrs. Gogoi continues to be an agent of Pakistan. That's his claim. That is his claim.
All right, Anand, thank you so much for bringing us the latest on that. We also are now being joined by Payal Mehta. Payal, thank you so much for joining us. Good morning. Now, of course, this is a huge allegation that has come forth. Now, Payal, what's your assessment of where this was raised and how he's established this link between Mrs. Gogoi and the Pakistan link that he's talking about here?
Well, as far as Mr. Himanta Biswa Sarma is concerned, one thing one must know that he never minces his words and he speaks with absolute clarity. And this war of words between Gaurav Gogoi and him has been going on for the last 6 months or so. So much so that it was understood at one point in time that Mr. Himanta Biswa Sarma would hand over the probe to NIA, given the fact that he's very confident that there is ample proof.
Good morning and a warm welcome. You're watching CNN News 18 with me, Griha Atul. Let's now begin with the headlines. Rahul Gandhi targets Modi government in Berlin, accuses BJP of undermining constitution and fostering divisions. Usman Hadi's Inqilab Manch warns of mass uprising to oust Yunus government over radical leader's murder. Hindu youth Dipu Das's lynching sparks outrage. Family alleges no help from Bangladesh police, seeks return to India. Thackerays brothers to reunite after 20 years. Announcement likely today. Question looms over Congress accepting Raj's ideology. In an exclusive interview to CNN News 18, Himanta Biswa Sarma accuses Congress of appeasement, claims proof against Mrs. Gogoi working with Pakistan, promises mega political expose. As rift with DMK over seat sharing Biden's, Congress mulls going solo in Tamil Nadu, hints at alliance with Vijay. Kerala braces for SIR impact as voter deletions raise alarm. Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan says left cadres to do door-to-door verification. Let's begin with our top focus story as Congress leader Rahul Gandhi, who's currently on a visit to Berlin, launched a sharp attack against Prime Minister Narendra Modi, claiming that Prime Minister's vision for India will fail and has tremendous problems. Rahul Gandhi said that the vision would create massive tensions in India and make Indians fight with each other. While acknowledging Prime Minister Modi's popularity, Rahul Gandhi maintained that a large number of people do not agree with his ideology and the vision of India that he has. In response, the BJP has hit back strongly, accusing Rahul Gandhi of meeting anti-India elements while being abroad and spreading lies and propaganda on foreign soil, calling his remarks an attempt to undermine India and its institutions.
There is a number of people in India who support Mr. Modi. And we cannot get away from that fact. But we do not, a lot of us do not agree with his ideology. We do not agree with the vision of India that he has. We think that the vision will fail. We think that the vision has tremendous problems, will create massive tension in India, will make Indian people fight with each other. So we will fight it, right? And it's a clash between two visions of India. There is a wholesale capture of our institutional framework. When you look at our intelligence agencies, you look at the CBI, you look at the ED, they've been weaponized. Look at the number of cases that the ED and the CBI have against BJP people. You'll find the answer zero, right? And look at the number of cases they have against people who oppose them, and you'll find that pretty much most of them are political cases. Capture of the institutional framework. If you're a large businessman and you try to support the Congress party, you're threatened. You're the ED, the CBI, these people land up. So there is an atmosphere in India where the institutions are not performing the role that they should be performing.
Once again, Rahul Gandhi has indulged in Bharat Badnami on foreign soil. There is nothing new in this. Rahul Gandhi should now rename LOP position not as leader of opposition but as leader of propaganda. Because going on foreign soil, meeting with anti-India elements, meeting with elements associated with George Soros who wants to destabilize India, and then spewing fakery and propaganda against India has become the full-time job of Rahul Gandhi. So time and again, Bharat ka karo apman, Bharat ki sansthaon ka karo apman, and China ka karo gungan has become Rahul Gandhi's only patch. To undermine India in Modi Virod, he can go to any extent of Desh Virod.
Let me take this. In fact, before we go to my colleague Pallavi, we have some breaking news that we are getting on the broadcast. We are now learning that while Rahul Gandhi has slammed the centre and its policy, Congress MP Shashi Tharoor has yet again gone against the party leadership. He's broken the ranks and lauded the progress under the Nitish Kumar BJP government in the state of Bihar. Tharoor has said no question that the infrastructure is much better while in Bihar than that he'd heard of before. He also said that the roads are better too. My colleague Pallavi continues to now be with us. Pallavi, this is nothing new. Even the fact that Rahul Gandhi is being attacked while on foreign soil, and now Shashi Tharoor yet again lauding the BJP government, in fact the Mahagathbandhan there in Bihar. Seriously, questions will be raised and there will be certain ones coming in from the Congress party. Have they begun?
Well, Griha, it's not the first time when you see Shashi Tharoor and some Congress leaders contradicting or disagreeing with what Rahul Gandhi had said. Remember Rahul Gandhi's famous comment where he agreed with Donald Trump that India's economy was collapsing. Shashi Tharoor was asked this question inside the parliament and, he had said, I don't think so. I think we are a thriving economy. Manish Tiwari too had agreed with it. So Rahul Gandhi's claims and allegations are busted not just by the BJP but his own. And in this case, of course, it happens to be Shashi Tharoor. Now, just to put it into context very quickly, he was in Berlin, and at Berlin, he was interacting with students of the Indian diaspora, and it was a free-for-all. I mean, everyone was asking questions, and to each of the questions, the main tagline that he was taking up was that democracy is dead in India, there's zero production, manufacturing has fallen, jobs are not there, and more than that, just as in the world, even in India, there is turbulence because we have ceded space to China. And therefore, what he was talking about was that unless jobs are not offered to the people, there is going to be complete chaos. Now, this is again a contradiction of what Shashi Tharoor had said earlier. What Shashi Tharoor was at the Nalanda University at an event. He not just praised the Nalanda University, but also the condition of Bihar. Now, this is not in sync with what his own ally, the RJD, has been saying during elections, and definitely not in sync with what the Congress has always maintained about Bihar, that there has been zero development under Nitish Kumar and a double engine ki sarkar.
But Pallavi, Congress and even Tejasvi Yadav for that matter haven't been saying much at the fag end of the year when it is about controversies associated with Bihar. Do we expect any responses now that Shashi Tharoor has spoken in favor of Bihar and the governance in Bihar? Because we did not see a peep when there was this entire veil controversy associated with the Bihar Chief Minister.
Well, I mean, Tejasvi Yadav, of course, as we all know, is also traveling abroad on a vacation. Yes, you're right. We have not been seeing much public statements. And many people are wondering, even within his own party, that what's going on. First of all, he has been confronted with family discord, which we saw came in from Rohini, his sister. But on the other hand, I think this was an election which Tejasvi Yadav perhaps did not even calculate would go so bad for the RJD and also for the Congress. And many observers feel that this possibly was his last big chance where he could come out of the shadows of his father, Lalu Prasad Yadav, because the Bihar elections was essentially all about Tejasvi Yadav with Lalu's pictures not even being there on the poster. In that sense, it was a failed strategy. And these are missed opportunities. In politics, you lose, but you also try to come back. And this is a point which will be highlighted by the NDA, by the BJP. And Shashi Tharoor's words ideally should make the Mahagathbandhan squirm. But so far, no one is even reacting.
Well, thank you so much for that, Pallavi. Do stay on with us. We have a few reactions that we'd like to play out for our viewers.
राहुल गांधी ने भारत का पार्लियामेंट में विपक्ष का नेता होना था। भारत का पार्लियामेंट का अंदर उसका कोई परफॉर्मेंस नहीं है। हर बार पार्लियामेंट के संदर्भ में विदेश जाता है, भारत का विरोध बात विदेश में करता है। ये विपक्ष का नेता नहीं, भारत विरोधी नेता है। बाहर देश में बोल के उसको क्या मिलेगा? बाहर देश वाले आके हमारे देश को ठीक करेगा क्या? सुधारण करेगा क्या? विकास करेगा क्या? इसीलिए राहुल गांधी अभी भी बड़ा नेता नहीं बना है, छोटा बच्चे जैसे अभी भी बिहेव कर रहे हैं, वही राहुल गांधी है।
And we are now joined by Mr. Pradeep Bhandari, spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party. Mr. Bhandari, this is the same old accusation that the BJP is levelling against Rahul Gandhi. We have seen this as a recurring phenomena. Whenever Rahul Gandhi is abroad on foreign soil, this is what comes about when he goes ahead and questions the institutions or talks about the Modi government in a critical way. This is the response that BJP comes up with. What is it that you're planning on doing about the statements that have been made by Rahul Gandhi while in Berlin?
We'll take the court of the people because in a democracy, people are the best judge. And we will take it to the people of the country that how repeatedly Rahul Gandhi has insulted Bharat. But the big point here is that Rahul predicts anarchy in the country. And this is not for the first time he has done it. He in the past he wants to fight the Indian state. So yes, we will take it to the people of the country how the opposition under Rahul Gandhi is not a political opposition. It is mischievous, it is conspiring for instability in the country.
You're also saying that he's meeting with anti-India forces while in Germany.
Well, he's the allies of George Soros. We know that he in the past has also met the anti-India element like Ilhan Omar. So it is not for the first time. But the continuous pattern tells you that Rahul, despite his repeated electoral defeats, has not learnt his lesson. And now he has understood that he cannot democratically come to power because the people of the country have seen his anti-India objective. So now he and the Congress party wants to create democratic chaos and wants to profit from it. And this is where he's trying to have an international alliance with George Soros and likes of George Soros who do not believe in Indian democracy.
Mr. Bhandari, he's also gone on to speak about the central institutions. He's talking about how under Narendra Modi, the central institutions are being weaponized. There are political cases only against opposition and very limited, or in fact, none against Bharatiya Janata Party leaders. Your response?
Well, till yesterday, the Congress party was celebrating the court dismissing the charge sheet of the ED. And till yesterday, they were claiming that the victory has finally happened from the lower court. And today, Rahul Gandhi is taking the same direction. The issue with Rahul Gandhi in the Congress party is that nobody believes in wins in the families of the Parivar. Indian democratic institutions functions as per rule of law, not as per the rule of Parivar. And this is what is hurting the Gandhi-Vadra family.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Bhandari, for joining us on the broadcast. Let me go back to my colleague, Pallavi. Pallavi, these are the responses that are coming in from the Bharatiya Janata Party. Clearly an all-out attack against Rahul Gandhi and the Congress Party. Any defense so far, or they are choosing to stick with the statements that Rahul is making while in Germany?
Well, Griha, in the past also when Rahul Gandhi has travelled abroad and there has been criticism that why are you demeaning your country, how has the Congress reacted? It's done it in two folds. One, by putting out those pictures and statements of the Prime Minister, and the Congress Party is saying that when the Prime Minister goes abroad, he also never minces any words and spares an opportunity to hit out at the Congress Party or hit out at Jawaharlal Nehru or Rajiv Gandhi. So why are you expecting us to be different? And second, they point out that Rahul Gandhi also has an important work to do, which is to tell the people what's really going wrong. And if Rahul Gandhi is speaking the truth, he's showing the correct picture of India, then so be it, and there's nothing wrong in that. And I think the Congress's reaction is going to be pretty much the same even now.
Right, but we have seen the BJP taking it up all the way, and clearly the attack is not going to stop till Rahul returns to the country. Do they have a backup plan? Because whatever we have seen as far as back in history, whenever these attacks came in from the Bharatiya Janata Party, Congress has not been able to ably defend their stance.
These are structured interactions which Rahul Gandhi has. It comes under the umbrella of the Indian Overseas Congress. Seated in the audience is also Sam Pitroda, who's the chairperson of the IOC. So these events are planned in advance, and the goal is very clear. In fact, if you listen to some of the questions which were being asked, and I was listening to all of them, the questions were very goading. The questions seemed to be giving it on a platter to Rahul Gandhi. So this suits the Congress's narrative. I mean, as Congress leaders say, at least he's in the news. He's raising the points globally, and people should know what is happening in India.
Right, absolutely. Pallavi, thank you so much for that perspective. And on that note, we shift our focus. Let's talk about all that is happening in Bangladesh. So after violent protests in Bangladesh last week over the assassination of Inqilab Monch founder Usman Hadi, the party has reportedly threatened to overthrow the interim government under Muhammad Yunus if it fails to act on Hadi's murder case. While the Islamist outfit has given a 24 hours ultimatum to Muhammad Yunus, the Home Advisor himself has admitted that the interim government is not aware of the killer's whereabouts. Meanwhile, another Islamist National Citizens Party, Motalib Sikdar, in fact, has been shot at yesterday and is said to be critical.
मैं समझता हूं कि आज जिस तरह के जो बांग्लादेश के हालात इस समय हम देखने को मिल रहा है और जिस तरह से अभी इंसानियत का कत्ल हुआ, अभी जिस तरह से उस बच्चे को उसकी हत्या की गई और उस हत्या करने के बाद उसको नंगा करके पेड़ से लटकाया गया और जिस तरह से उस लाश की नुमाइश की गई, बहुत दुख की बात है। मैं पूछना चाहता हूं बांग्लादेश की आवाम से, क्या ये एहसान का बदला आज आप भारत को ये दे रहे हैं?
Let me take this across to my colleague Sami El Mehndi, who is joining us live from Dhaka. Sami, there was so much that was up for conjecture when it was about this particular leader, Sikdar, being shot at in Bangladesh. Now we are learning that he's not died. He's in fact in a critical condition. What's with the conversation around this fresh spate of violence, and also another political leader has been attacked in the country?
Well, thank you. Whenever Mr. Sikdar was shot, it was posted from another political leader of his party. She posted in the Facebook that a fellow member of her party has been shot. So immediately, people and the other media house thought that it must be anything political attack. But sorry. After a couple of hours, as he was shot in the ear, in his left ear, so his entire head was, covered with blood, and people thought that he got shot in the head. And there were so many theories and rumors in the air as well. But after 3 or 4 hours, it was clear that he wasn't shot in the head. He got shot in the ear. And later on, police and other people, they have investigated and they found that it's not connected with any kinds of political thing. It was some kinds of internal dispute between some people of his own group. And today morning, the police said that they have arrested one particular individual with whom Mr. Sikdar might have some, personal clash. Okay. So the Sikdar incident is not connected with any kinds of political incident or anything. It's it's kind of personal or economic.
But the fact that it's happening at this particular time raises serious concerns. Thank you so much, Sami, for that account. We also have our colleague Siddhant Mishra, who's joining us on the broadcast. Siddhant, what does it now mean for India, considering there were several fingers that were being pointed at India? The Hadi killer also was, in fact, the conjecture and the chatter that was particularly coming in from Bangladesh said that he had fled to India. Now we are learning that Hadi's party has threatened Muhammad Yunus and his interim government will be thrown out of power, particularly all of this happening ahead of that sham election that is supposed to take place in 2026 in Bangladesh. What does one make of this situation?
Well, that's right. In fact, we have three people on record, saying three different things. Now, BNP is alleging that the killers of Usman Hadi has links with Jamaat-e-Islami. A senior police official in Bangladesh is saying that we don't have any evidence to prove that killers have escaped to India. Now, the Home Advisor is saying that they have no information about the location of the killers. But despite that, the government of Bangladesh brought India into the picture, perhaps which led to chaos, violence and arson on the streets of Dhaka. Right now, we are reporting from outside the High Commission of Bangladesh in New Delhi. In fact, Hindu groups like Bajrang Dal and Vishwa Hindu Parishad have given call for a protest outside Bangladesh High Commission. And in fact, you can see the massive security deployment could be seen here. We have police force, Delhi police, along with the paramilitary force deployed right outside the Bangladesh High Commission. In fact, the entire area has been cordoned off. The barricades have been put 100 meters from the High Commission on both sides of the road, so that the protesters cannot walk till the High Commission, so that protesters can be stopped 200 meters away from the High Commission. So right now, the senior officials of Delhi police, they're briefing the personnel about the bandobast, about the arrangements, and we did manage to speak to some senior officials. In fact, they are aware of the call given by Vishwa Hindu Parishad and Bajrang Dal, but the protesters will not be allowed to march till the High Commission. Unlike what unfolded in Dhaka and various other missions, Indian missions in Bangladesh. In India, the protesters will be stopped 200 meters away from the High Commission. Back to you.
Right, Siddhant. We have to wait and watch if it doesn't undermine India's position because of the claims that Bangladesh has been making. Thank you so much, Siddhant and Sami, for joining us with all the latest. Right now, we go into a very short break.
This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network. This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma has accused the Congress party of indulging in political appeasement at the cost of national interest. Speaking exclusively to CNN News 18, Sarma claimed to have solid evidence against Mrs. Gogoi, alleging that she is working in coordination with Pakistan. A charge that, if substantiated, could have serious political and national security implications. Not just that, the Chief Minister claims to have ample evidence against Mrs. Gogoi. Listen to this.
That is a big issue, because that issue we are going to reveal. She works for the state of Pakistan. And I have evidence with me. So
So you're going to bring out
Yeah,
the
yeah.
evidence, yeah.
Just I was waiting for. I have clear evidences, and I am saying with whole lot of responsibility as a Chief Minister of Assam, I have clear evidences that she is a part of cartel who helps Pakistan. So उसमें how किसी का आप माँ भी हो सकता है, किसी का आप बेटी भी हो सकता है, बट अब जब पाकिस्तानी हो जाते हैं तो आपसे मेरा कैसे संबंध हो सकता है? So I want, after I reveal everything, that gentleman should disown his wife.
Well, we'll wait for the evidence.
Yes.
All right, for more on this, we have Anand Narasimhan joining us live this morning. Thank you so much for joining me, Anand. Good morning. Of course, tall claims that he's alleging that Mrs. Gogoi is working with Pakistan. Of course, he said that he'll come out with the evidence for the same. What's your assessment of what's happening?
Well, morning him and morning to our viewers. The thing is that there are two aspects that Mr. Himanta Biswa Sarma spoke to News 18 last evening at Rising Northeast platform. What he very clearly said is that the Congress, he blamed the Congress for appeasement, and he said that the current situation that Assam is dealing with this entire influx and people of Bangladeshi origin residing in Assam and putting pressure on the local indigenous population is a result of the Congress's appeasement policy. He also brought the Madurai Deepam issue where he said that when the court orders are sidelined and a judge is impeached because of the order passed, and Mr. Gaurav Gogoi is one of the signatories among the 109 MPs who moved for the judge's impeachment, that just smacked of appeasement, brazen appeasement. Then when pushed on Mrs. Gogoi, he said that he has concrete evidence and he will be tabling that very, very soon. He was just waiting for a few more papers internationally that would absolutely, irrefutably establish
Welcome back. You're watching CNN News 18 with me, Griha Atul. We're now getting some breaking news on the broadcast, and this is to do with pollution concerns that are plaguing the national capital. Now we learn of a meeting that will be spearheaded by Home Minister Amit Shah, and the Delhi Chief Minister Rekha Gupta will be attending that meeting with the Home Minister. This will take place at 3 p.m. this afternoon. So this is what we're picking up, a crucial meeting that will be underway this afternoon at about 3 p.m., which will have the Delhi Chief Minister Rekha Gupta in attendance. She will be meeting with the Union Home Minister Mr. Amit Shah to discuss about Delhi's air quality turning severe. So this big meet that has been planned today in the national capital at about 3 in the afternoon, where Home Minister Amit Shah will have the Delhi Chief Minister in his company. That meeting is going to be underway at 3 p.m. Discussions, solutions, all of that is going to be discussed when it is about the severe air quality that Delhi is reeling under. Remember, there's also a lot of flack that the Delhi Chief Minister Rekha Gupta has been receiving for having done nothing so far in these last few months of having taken and assumed power in the national capital. The situation remains as grim when it is about air quality. Also, certain statements that she has given in the past on air quality has really not gone down well and gone particularly against the Bharatiya Janata Party and the Delhi Chief Minister. My colleague Payal Mehta is joining us with all of those inputs. Payal, a crucial meeting there, which the Home Minister is going to be spearheading, will have the Delhi Chief Minister attending it. Any details that you're picking up before the meeting starts at 3 today?
Well, of course, the Home Minister will understand from the Delhi government as to what steps have been taken, and he's going to be somebody who's going to be chairing this particular meeting. So importantly, we will come to know what the assessment on ground really has been and what is going to be the further steps as far as that is concerned. Given the fact that after being pushed to the pedal, the Delhi government has eventually come out with some steps to help mitigate the challenge of pollution, which is a real big challenge as far as the national capital's health is really concerned as well. They are coming up with a new EV policy in place. They've of course stopped a certain kind of vehicles from entering Delhi from other states. So those steps have really been taken. But what is the bigger picture and what is the larger picture that needs to be done? So the Home Minister taking matters into his own hands and of course chairing this very crucial meeting. Just about yesterday, the Home Minister had a meeting as far as the pollution of Yamuna was really concerned. Griha, so today's meeting is extremely critical because, there's been a lot of flack that the Delhi government, especially the Delhi Chief Minister, has drawn over the last few weeks in terms of what is happening to the Delhi, what is happening to the national capital, what is happening to the health emergency that we really have.
Right, absolutely, Payal. Thank you so much for all of those details. We also have our colleague Nivedita Singh who's joining us. Nivedita, like Payal was mentioning, there was a lot of flack that the Delhi government, particularly the Chief Minister of the National Capital, Rekha Gupta, has been receiving on the poor, in fact, severe air quality that Delhi NCR has been witnessing. Now that this meeting has been slated for this afternoon, what is it that you are learning will be coming in as defense from the Delhi government on the steps that they have really taken? We do know of the GRAP 4 implementation, but what about compliance?
So, particularly from mid-December, like December 16, the Delhi government has already introduced a series of new norms, new restrictions for the national capital, apart from the GRAP 3 and GRAP stage that was already in force from last week. So, apart from these measures, the Delhi government has also introduced a series of new norms for the people of Delhi. Basically, like we can see that even as there were a lot of norms have been introduced, there is a thick layer of smog all around, and the AQI this morning slipped to 414. That was in the severe category. This is happening even as the government has banned the entry of all non-city vehicles which are below BS6, and it has also banned refueling for all category of vehicle, be it petrol, diesel or CNG, at the fuel station. If these vehicles are not having a valid pollution certificate, the AQI is continue to drop and is expected to further drop. The series of measures that the government is introducing and is expected to introduce are to check the air pollution in the national capital. However, the improvement is not there in terms of number, as we say. The AQI of Anand Vihar this morning was 466, very close to the upper limit of the AQI. And the government is saying that usually towards the end of the year, the AQI remains in the severe category, and this is based on the data from last 10 to 12 years, that the AQI remains in poor to severe category, depending upon the numbers based on the number from the Delhi government.
All right, that seems to be a poor defense that's coming in from the Delhi government. Payal continues to be with us on the broadcast. Payal, there was a particular comment, that was a statement that was made by the leader of opposition in the Lok Sabha, Mr. Rahul Gandhi, that was lauded, despite the fact that Rahul is in the news yet again and dominating headlines for all the wrong reasons. But what he said about pollution and how it should be, in fact, minus any politics, all the political parties must unite and look at the severe impact of the air pollution and how there needs to be a solution that needs to be discussed. Is that also going to be discussed? Possibly other members of the opposition who might just be invited for this meeting, and the entire solutions could be discussed along with the Delhi Chief Minister in attendance?
Well, what I do understand, Griha, that apart from the Delhi Chief Minister and the Home Minister, senior officials of both the Home Ministry as well as, the Delhi government have been invited to, participate in this particular meeting. Now, what happened in Parliament was most unfortunate, given the fact that Rahul Gandhi spoke about this only after the SIR debate was over. There was a pick between SIR and pollution, and many political leaders were divided in the opposition. Having said that, but they chose the SIR issue first. The health emergency was certainly ignored and was left right to the last as well. Why did that discussion not happen? That was a different story altogether. But the notice were given by Rahul Gandhi's sister Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, also by Basuri Swaraj, who's from the BJP, and Kaniwadi, and discussion unfortunately could not really take place. But Rekha Gupta has been facing a lot of flack. Wherever she's gone, she's been booed, for ignoring the AQI levels as well. And there are multiple complications, this being the national capital and the most, most politically active city, if I may say so, in the country as well. There was parliament session which was on. The Indigo crisis has happened in the middle of this. Cancellations has happened because of fog as well. Smog and smog does impact, rail routes as well. So public inconvenience is something which is going to be there. Senior citizens, people who have comorbidities, their interests have to be taken into account as well. So all of these challenges have to be tackled, and that's the exact reason why the Home Minister has taken matters into his own hands. He's going to, of course, come up very divisive plan is what we are given to understand. But the Delhi government sooner than later has taken some steps, and we may criticize them for what really has been happening, but finally at least some steps have been taken, and the choking of the city, we are hoping we'll get some respite because multiple steps have been taken. But what is exactly the cause of the pollution and why is it happening? So we heard Bhupendra Yadav also speak about this in Parliament just about in the second week as well. We'll have to just wait and see what comes out of this meeting. But this health emergency is everybody's emergency. It impacts you, it impacts me, it impacts our senior citizen parents, it impacts every citizen who's here in the national capital, forced to come to national capital for even for work reasons. People are left coughing and leave coughing from here.
Right, absolutely. And that is something that is of utmost importance, that discussion. With that, we're shifting our focus. We're now, in fact, getting some more breaking news on the broadcast. We're learning that in a significant strategic move, the NDA government has cleared the construction of a 32-kilometer long road connecting Nilapani to Mulingla in Uttarakhand, reaching all the way up to Tibetan border. The project will be executed by Border Roads Organization and it is aimed at enhancing border mobility and readiness in the high altitude region. So let's break this down further. We will just be putting out this particular map for you to understand what this will look like. Here you see the Tibetan border, and right at this particular area where this entire, in fact, road will be conducted from Nilapani here to Mulingla Pass in Uttarakhand, and that's what the connection is all about. This will be giving our security forces, the Indian Army also a lot of impetus, and that's why it becomes really significant. India's Tibet strategy that we are in fact putting out for our viewers. We're talking about this 32-kilometer strategic road which will go up to the Tibetan border. This project will be executed by the BRO, and this is what we are learning of, and this will give India that strategic advantage when it is about the border areas, particularly the border which is common with Tibet. My colleague Aman Sharma is now joining us on the broadcast. Aman, very, very strategic advantage that India's defense forces are also going to be getting with this construction. More on this, please.
Well, Griha, see, post-2020 Galwan clash, the Indian government has been very clear that all these particular border areas with China, with Tibet, need to be spruced up with border roads so that our forces, our equipment, our troops can move quickly in the case of any emergency, and even supplies all the year round can happen. A lot of work has happened in Ladakh, but now in Uttarakhand also, this particular road that we are speaking about from Nilapani to Mulingla base camp, the base of the Mulingla Pass, which actually links Tibet with India, the Himalayan pass which is there, the 32-kilometer road will be constructed. It's a very, very strategic project. The Border Roads Organization has invited consultancy for this particular project, showing that the project is finally moving forward. Right now, Griha, from Nilapani to Mulingla is just a dirt track. So it takes 5 days of trek to reach Mulingla, which is the border point with the Tibetan border, and that is why we are, for the first time, the BR is going to construct an all-weather road, 32-kilometer long. It's going to cost a lot, but still, the project is very, very significant. It is going to be constructed at an altitude of 16,000 feet. So that is going to be the big challenge to this project. But the government wanting to build border roads, to the last points also, and this is also, I think, a big message to China that India is also sprucing up its road infrastructure. This particular project is significant because this whole route, has been shut ever since the 1962 war, Mulingla Pass and all that. There are border patrols which happen, but this is very, very inhospitable terrain, and that is why this particular project becomes very important. The other details that I have from the document, in which the BRO is asking for consultancies. Also, the document says that Mulingla is a high-altitude seasonal mountain pass located at approximately 16,134 feet. It links India's Uttarakhand sector with the Tibetan Autonomous Region of China. Historically, the Mulingla Pass has served as a traditional trans-Himalayan corridor used by traders, shepherds and border patrols as well. And for decades after the 1962 India-China war, the region remained logistically underdeveloped. And this was a strategy of earlier governments to keep it underdeveloped because they thought that China would otherwise, have an aggressive patrol inside the Indian borders. But now the strategy has completely changed since the Galwan clash, and not just in Ladakh now, even in Uttarakhand and these close border areas, we are now seeing the construction of high-altitude roads that will enhance the movement of our troops to the region in case of any eventuality. Right now, supplies have to be dropped at Mulingla through helicopters, in the winters, because otherwise it's a 5-kilometer trek. But now the BRO is moving ahead to build this very significant road.
Right, it is rather a very, very significant advantage that this will be giving to India. This is not a porous area, high altitude road that will be constructed connecting Nilapani to the Mulingla Pass. Aman, we do know whenever there has been an engagement with China in the past, whether it is the External Affairs Minister meeting with his counterpart in China, there was a discussion, particularly underlined was disengagement and de-escalation. What happens to that now that this construction on the Indian side really is going to happen as far as BRO is concerned? What will be China's response so far, because there has been that friction between India and China because of it?
Well, Griha, see, the Indian policy is very clear. Both the countries last year agreed that there will be a disengagement on the border and the forces will go back a certain distance to ensure that whole buffer area is again kept sacrosanct like it was pre-2020. That disengagement has surely happened. But when the Defence Minister, Mr. Rajnath Singh, met his counterpart from China recently, Mr. Rajnath Singh had impressed upon his Chinese counterpart that the border question should also be settled. This is the best time for India and China to solve this very contentious border issue as well, because the LSE different perceptions on both the sides. That does not mean that India will stop building its border infrastructure. India says that post 2020, especially now, it's a very clear strategy that we will prepare for any eventuality. We will build a border infrastructure so that our troops are not found wanting at any count. They can move quickly to these border areas in case of any eventuality. And particularly, what I'm being told by top sources through this document also, that Uttarakhand, despite being a sensitive border state, has always lagged behind in such border infrastructure compared to Ladakh or maybe Arunachal Pradesh. But when now the government is very clear, policy strategic shift is there that all the border areas with China, we need to build up an infrastructure, and this particular 32-kilometer road project is one of those several strategic additions we are doing to our border arsenal, I would say, that helps our troops to move faster, helps our military equipment to move faster towards the border areas.
Right. Do stay on with us, Aman. We have a special guest who's joining us. Major General KK Sinha is now with us on the broadcast. Major General Sinha, what do you make of this blueprint that we have managed to access? BRO is going to be working on this particular road connecting Nilapani to Mulingla in Uttarakhand, very, very close to the Tibetan border, giving India the strategic advantage. And also we have the China question that one must look at. 16,000 feet, in fact, more than 16,000 feet is the altitude.
Good morning in Jai Hind. Yeah, this is one of the very good development as far as the infrastructure is concerned and the capability and capacity which we are developing all along the China's border. The China border, as you know, that is a 360 kilometers. This is the area which you are talking about, is the Nilapani area to Mulingla. Generally, these are those also the part of the disputed area of Limpia, Dhora, Kalapani and Dipu Lake. It is generally, when you say, it is generally in that line when we are looking for. And this is also a very important strategic path that we say Mulingla Pass. This is a path on which we can always go, which we claim it that the star region, the Thackerays region, the certain part which we even not saying operationally, but that is the part of India. When you come through Tibet, if you see the complete area, including the eastern part of it, you find that, we have got something, we call it, which is of our, it is there in the part of us. Going to frame once again in this area, and that is very important, because once you create a capability, it's a 2-kilometer road, you cut the distance, time and distance of the reactions, both for offensive and defensive. And as you said, it becomes a part of the high-altitude area, 2,135. In area when you operate, through this, you don't require the acclimatization. You can launch from zero acclimatization to that area without that. I think it's great capacity and capability building.
And Major Sinha, it's also much needed, because our colleague Aman, who's managed to access that blueprint for us, was also mentioning that so far, if there are some equipments or otherwise any kind of resources that need to be supplied to the Indian Army at the border, it was always airdropped. And that is the accessibility factor that was always in question when it is about the Mulingla Pass.
You are absolutely correct. Mulingla Pass, I had been to there, I have operated in these areas. These are the very, very challenging areas, especially, say for the equipment, and if you want to take heavy equipment like artillery pieces, different systems, is required to be airdropped, including They do not have the capability during the actual operations time, the reinforcement and readjustment which we carried out, and the supply. It has become very, very different. 32, just 32 from Nilapani. You can see the Nilapani area to the Polengla. Otherwise, it used to take, not less than 7 days, from stages you move. These are the areas when you move. So you're cutting down your, the reaction time. It is a great capacity building.
Right, thank you so much, Major General Sinha, for joining us with your inputs there. And on that note, we're shifting our focus. Let's talk about what's happening in Maharashtra. The Thackerays cousins appear set to join hands for the upcoming BMC polls with an alliance announcement likely today. Raj Thackeray's Maharashtra Navnirman Sena and Uddhav Thackeray-led Shiv Sena UBT have been engaged in hectic last-minute talks to firm up a tie for the next month's high-stakes civic elections in Mumbai. While leaders from both sides have maintained that discussions are over, no formal announcement has been made yet. Sources also suggest that negotiations have hit a hurdle over seat sharing in pockets where both parties have a strong base, including Dadar, also Savri area, Vikhroli and Bhandup. The filing of nomination papers for the BMC polls begins today and it will continue till the 30th of December.
शिवसेना और महाराष्ट्र नवनिर्माण सेना में बातचीत लगभग खत्म हो गई। अभी एमएनएस के नेता मातोश्री पर भी गए थे। आज सुबह मेरी भी राज साहब से बातचीत हो गई। तो इतना बड़ा अलायंस है, सिर्फ मुंबई का नहीं है, ठाणे है, कल्याण डोंबिवली है, नासिक है, पुणे है, मीरा भाईंदर है और भी जगह पे हो रहा है। तो दोनों के पास कार्यकर्ताओं की संख्या बड़ी है, तो सबको संभाल कर ये अलायंस बनेगा। किसी के ऊपर अन्याय नहीं होना चाहिए, क्योंकि महाराष्ट्र में ये एक ऐतिहासिक अलायंस, हिस्टोरिक अलायंस हो रहा है।
सबसे बड़ी वजह हारने की क्या है? क्या कांग्रेस है?
देखिए, कांग्रेस 2019 में पूरी तरह महाराष्ट्र में परास्त हो गई थी। 2019 में हमारी नाव में हमने इनको बिठाया और इनको किनारे लाए, इनको अपने मंत्रिमंडल में शामिल किया। उद्धव ठाकरे जी के नेतृत्व में इनको पोषण दिया हमने। अब जब ये थोड़ी सी ताकतवर बन गए हैं तो हम ही को आंख दिखा रहे हैं। अरे भाई, कांग्रेस पार्टी का मुंबई में है क्या? कांग्रेस पार्टी मुंबई में एक पर्यटक है, टूरिस्ट है। आइए, होर्डिंग लगाइए, बैनर लगाइए, अपना प्रचार करिए, हारिए और आत्मचिंतन करिए। बहुत सारे दिनों से हम देख रहे हैं कि कांग्रेस कह रही है हम अकेले लड़ेंगे, अकेले। अरे आपका मुंबई में है क्या? लड़ लो अकेले। 30 साल से लड़ ही रहे हो ना। कभी 25 सीट पाते हो, कभी 30 सीट पाते हो, तो लड़ लो।
So we will see this likely alliance between both the Thackeray cousins after 20 years, and that is what makes it rather significant. But what will be the Congress's response to this alliance? Remember, if we talk about 1990, Raj and Uddhav Thackeray entered politics in that year. Then in 2005, there was that succession battle that really peaked and Raj walked out of the Shiv Sena fold. 2006 is when he launched in fact, MNS, splitting the Marathi vote categorically and considerably. Then 2009 is when MNS dented the Sena-BJP alliance and Congress NCP returned to power. So all of this has had a very, very significant impact on elections and the political move in Maharashtra. So this particular unity is now also going to be having a massive and a very, very drastic impact when it is about the entire Mahavikas Aghadi. We'll see about that, but right now we have our colleague Yesha Kotak, who's now with us on the broadcast. Yesha, 20 years is a long time. Now finally this chatter about the two brothers, the two cousins joining hands. When is that in fact announcement going to be made official? When is that announcement really likely?
So we were hoping that the announcement about both the Thackerays brothers coming together was expected to be today. But however, sources have now indicated that it would take a couple of days because both the Thackerays brothers are discussing the seat sharing right now.
Okay.
So, what we in fact know is that on the basis of the seat sharing agreement is where, the announcement would be made. So, if the seat sharing is discussed today, the announcement can be likely by today evening or maybe in a day or two. Here, what's important to note is that when it comes to the Mahavikas Aghadi alliance, like you've been in fact speaking about, in fact in the last BMC elections, though the Shiv Sena was short of 2 seats and BJP had gained more than that, it was Shiv Sena who made their mayor at BMC, and eventually at that time both BJP and Shiv Sena were alliance partners, and BJP got the upper hand at the state level. However, now with the elections being delayed for more than 4 years, the equations have completely changed. It's almost 9 years since the last BMC elections took place, and with the equations changing now, there are 2 camps, Mahayuti and Mahavikas Aghadi. Though when it comes to the Mahayuti, of course, so far discussions are still on over seat sharing, over who would get the maximum number of seats. In Mahayuti, it is of course the BJP which is asking for an upper hand, looking at the results of the Nagar Panchayat elections. But on the other hand, when it comes to Mahavikas Aghadi, Congress is not on the same page with the Thackerays brothers coming together.
Absolutely, and that is what is going to be the major disruption here. But we will talk further about that. Do stay on, Yesha. We are getting some breaking news on the broadcast. Now, this is as per NDA sources. We are learning that Nagpur will likely see an alliance between the NCP Ajit Pawar faction and the BJP. There is constant talks that we are learning of in the state of Maharashtra. And we are also, in fact, looking at further meetings, hectic parleys that are in place. My colleague Payal Mehta with all of those details. Payal, we do know that in the month of September, in the Nagpur declaration, Ajit Pawar had made his stance rather clear of strengthening that alliance with the Bharatiya Janata Party. So, which way is this announcement really headed? Is there going to be one soon?
Yes, what we are given to understand that it is almost certain that the NCP, which is Ajit Pawar's faction, and the BJP will strike an alliance for the municipal corporation election in Nagpur, which is of course Devendra Fadnavis's own bastion as well. Those talks are currently on. We are also given to understand that multiple conversations are also happening, and the alliance of the BMC is also likely to take shape this weekend. BMC being the biggest municipal corporation and the richest municipal corporation across the entire country. So therefore, what we are given to understand, multiple parleys are taking place as well. In fact, what I do understand from my sources is that Sharad Pawar's party, after being demolished completely by Ajit Pawar's faction in Pune and in Baramati, is going to be really, really worried with the kind of alliance that these people are able to strike on the other side of the fence. Given the fact that the NCP, which is led by Ajit Pawar, is going to have its internal meeting tomorrow in Mumbai, is what I do understand. And of course, Devendra Fadnavis also had a late night meeting yesterday with Eknath Shinde to form up the other alliances on which the two of them can come together. It is pretty much understandable there are certain sections which have been earmarked very, very clearly, saying that if they go together in those alliances, that's going to be a harmful alliance that will be formed, and therefore in those places, they might just decide to go solo and go for friendly fights. So a lot of negotiation, a lot of parleys taking place. Devendra Fadnavis, of course, leading the NDA alliance there in the state, and a lot to prove as far as Eknath Shinde is concerned, and Ajit Pawar as well, because both of these factions are now divided. Like Yasha was just mentioning, Griha, that in the earlier elections which took place in 2017, they were all united with their respective factions, but now Shinde is divided into two. In fact, Shiv Sena is divided into two, and you also have NCP divided into two, and both are fighting for their own relevance.
Right, absolutely, Pal. Thank you so much. Significant development that one is looking at coming out of Maharashtra. With that, we are shifting our focus. Let's take a look at some more breaking news that we're getting on the broadcast. We're learning of a sensational daylight robbery that took place at a jewellery shop in Seawoods area of Navi Mumbai in Maharashtra. 4 accused carried out the robbery, we are told, and 3 of them entered the shop wearing burqas and threatened the shopkeeper at gunpoint. So this is what we are learning of when it is about the sensational robbery that has taken place at a jewellery shop in the Navi Mumbai area of Maharashtra. So we are talking about 4 people who carried out this entire act, and these are the visuals there. 4 people wearing burqas. This is a daylight robbery, and one person has pointed the gun at the person at the counter, and that's how sensational all of these developments really is. Brazen robbery in broad daylight. My colleague Yesha Kotak with all the details here. Yesha?
Absolutely. In fact, when we speak of the visuals from this robbery, it's quite evident that there are three people who wore burqa and they entered in broad daylight at this jewellery shop. They looted the shop owner. But police, as part of the investigations, also confirmed that there was one 4th person as well was keeping a watch outside the shop. So while these three people looted the shop, there was one person who was keeping a watch, and the others could be in fact could be kept abreast about what was happening outside. Now, while after this robbery took place, dog squad, apart from that, police officials have also rushed the spot. They're taking a stock of the situation there to understand as to what has been the quantum of jewelry that has been looted from this very shop. An FIR has also been registered against these four people, but considering the fact that that they were wearing burqa is where the CCTV footages are being assessed and possibly CCTV footage of the road is being taken into consideration so as to understand that who the fourth person was, on the basis of which the other three people can be identified. So far, all these four people remain on the run.
Okay.
Cops are now trying to understand and find out who were these four people who were involved in this robbery.
Right, thank you so much for that, Yesha. We are now getting some more breaking news. This is coming in from Jammu and Kashmir. Security forces in Kathua district have launched intensive searches after two suspects were spotted last night at two locations very close to the Uja River. The Special Operations Group has been deployed in that area. My colleague Tejinder with all of those details. Yes, Tejinder.
Yeah, Greha, these searches have been launched in the areas of Chutana and Sofian. These are the areas which have witnessed two encounters this year, in which two Jaish terrorists were killed and four cops were killed in action. Now, two suspects were seen, and this was reported by the local residents to the police, and after that, this search operation has been launched. This is a joint operation between the Army, the CRPF, and the Special Operation Group of Jammu and Kashmir Police. We are told that senior officers too have rushed to the spot, and additional reinforcement has been rushed, and the searches continue, and the locals have given this input to the security agencies. After that, this search operation was launched. Yes, Greha.
Tejinder, thank you so much for all of those inputs. Keeping an eye on the story, but right now we go into a very short break.
This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
All right, welcome back to CNN News 18. Thank you so much for staying on with us. Lots lined up for you now. Rattled by Operation Sindoor, Pakistan is now rushing to build an iron dome along the line of control. Intelligence sources have told CNN News 18 that Pakistan is urgently strengthening its defences along the line of control in response to India's increasing drone and loitering munition capabilities. Let me just break this down further for you. Let's talk about the perceived impact of India's dominance in this region as well. Indian dominance in drone warfare clearly has unsettled Pakistan in light of what we see happen in Operation Sindoor. Pakistan is now scrambling, we're given to understand, to install anti-drone systems. The anti-drone system deployments has been spotted along the LoC. These are still early reports. Deployments near Ralakot, Kotli, Bhimber. Pakistan has approached China. Also, we're given to understand Turkey for these drones. Pakistan is finalizing the deal for 300 Fatah 1 rockets. Clearly spooked, Pakistan is fast-tracking now its weapons purchases, given India's munitions, loitering munitions and drone capabilities. Pakistan is also now overhauling aging armored fleet, we're given to understand. So this is the latest that we are getting right now. For more on this, we have Akash Sharma live with us. Also joining us on the broadcast, Lieutenant General DP Pandey. Thank you so much for joining me on the broadcast right now. Let's just talk about what we're seeing play out here. We're given to understand, Akash, that Pakistan is now rushing to build an iron dome of sorts, clearly rattled by India's growing capabilities and loitering munitions capabilities. If you could just tell our viewers what's happening.
Right. So you see, Pakistan is in fear, and we know it for a fact. And now we are learning that along LoC at 8 different places, Pakistan has in fact deployed counter drone systems, counter UAV technology, and in fact the systems that can jam and spoof the drones coming. At this point in time, we know it for a fact that Pakistan has been claiming their victory, despite the fact that they have received in fact, injuries, deaths to their soldiers, and in fact, their bunkers at the LoC and also the bases have been destroyed. But despite that, Pakistan has been going bonkers, saying that they have won Operation Sindoor, they have won the war against India, and that's the reason why they are constantly in fact in touch with the Chinese and people from Turkey, because they want to in fact induct more and more weapons amid the fear that India can go for another strike. And we are learning about these systems that have been
Hello and welcome. You're watching CNN News 18 with me, Hem Kaur Saro, and here's a look at what we're tracking for you at this hour. Rahul Gandhi targets Modi government in Berlin, accuses the BJP of undermining constitution and fostering divisions. While Rahul Gandhi slams the centre, Congress MP Shashi Tharoor lauds the progress in Bihar. Home Minister Amit Shah to meet Delhi Chief Minister Rekha Gupta on Delhi pollution at 3 p.m. today. Osman Hadi's Inqilab Manch warns of mass uprising to oust Yunus government over radical leader's murder. Hindu youth Dipu Chandradas's lynching sparks outrage. Family alleges no help from Bangladesh police, seeks return to India. The Thackerays brothers to reunite after 20 years. Announcement likely today. Question looms over Congress accepting Raj's ideology. As the rift with DMK over seat sharing widens, Congress mulls going solo in Tamil Nadu, hints at an alliance with Vijay. Now, after CNN News 18 news break on mega infiltration challenge, Assam's Chief Minister's red flag on illegals. Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma speaks to CNN News 18, raises concerns over chicken neck security challenges, alleges Yunus is emboldening radical elements ahead of state polls, and flags a potential Bangladesh-linked threat.
What's happening in the neighborhood? और अभी जैसे हम मंच पे आ रहे थे तो ये अपडेट आया है कि बांग्लादेश हैज स्टॉप्ड ऑल कॉन्सुलर सर्विसेज अंटिल फर्दर नोटिस. जो वहां हो रहा है उसका असर असम में भी होगा.
ना आपने बोला बांग्लादेशी वीसा रद्द कर दिया, तो बांग्लादेश कौन जाते हैं? वही लोग जाते हैं. मेरे लिए तो फर्क नहीं पड़ता है बांग्लादेश का वीसा हम मिले या ना मिले. तो व्हाई सो मच बांग्लादेशी वीसा इज इन डिमांड इन इंडिया? बिकॉज ऑफ वेस्ट बंगाल एंड असम. इधर से ही लोग जाते हैं. आज 75 ईयर्स 76 ईयर्स का बाद ये नैरेटिव हम दोबारा सुन रहा हूं. एंड आज भी मैंने सुबह मीडिया का सामने बोल रहा था, वी आर इन ए वेरी ऑकवर्ड सिचुएशन. आज असम का नियरली 40% पीपल आर बांग्लादेशी. नाउ लोग बोलेगा कैसे बांग्लादेशी हो? दे हैव बीन लेजिटिमाइज्ड एज इंडियन कि आपने 71 का आगे आया है, पीछे आया है. लेकिन जब हम लोग बोलता हो कि फिजी में कौन लोग है? भारतीय लोग हैं. आज हम बोलते हो कि भाई फिजी में कौन लोग है? भारत का लोग है. ऐसे ही बांग्लादेश का लोग बोलते हैं कि हमारा ही तो लोग असम में है 40%.
करेक्ट.
सो इसीलिए वी आर वेरी वेरी vulnerable. इंडिपेंडेंस का समय हम लोग इतना vulnerable नहीं था. तब ओरिजिनल बांग्लादेशी पॉपुलेशन, नेटिव बांग्लादेश इन इंडिया, इन असम, मे बी इट वॉज 10 to 15%. बट टुडे द नेटिव बांग्लादेशी पॉपुलेशन मे बी कानूनन आज इंडियन है, बट हम लोग जो बोलता हूं इंडियन ओरिजिन, बांग्लादेशी ओरिजिन पीपल इन असम आर 40%, roughly 1.6 crores. At the time of crucial moment, where they will stand. जब चिकन नेक ले जाने का बाद होगा सिकन नेक का दोनों और ओरिजिनल बांग्लादेशी लोग हैं. Legally they may be Indian today. Their loyalty will be at that point of time towards India or towards their original motherland. So these are the things we have to watch. कांग्रेस ने जैसे डॉक्टर अंबेडकर, सरदार वल्लभ भाई पटेल, एक इशू थे कि लेट all Muslim goes to Bangladesh or so-called Pakistan, and all Hindus comes to India. But वो नहीं हुआ. लेकिन एक बात हो सकते थे कि बांग्लादेश और पाकिस्तान का हिंदू को आप अपना फ्री चॉइस एक्सप्रेस करने के लिए मौका दीजिए. Whether we want to stay in India or whether we want to stay in Pakistan. So we force Pakistan on them. अगर गलती से मेरा जोरहाट में जन्म हुए थे, अगर जोरहाट उस समय बांग्लादेश का चला गया था, मैं भी बांग्लादेशी बन जाते थे, मुझे तो कोई पूछा भी नहीं होते थे. So many reluctant people, they have been forced to stay in Pakistan because of wrong Congress politics. Later on, जब बांग्लादेश क्रिएट किया गया था, तब भी एक मौका था कि भाई पूछ लीजिए हिंदू को कहां रहना है. We could have saved crores of Hindu. Today, the Hindu population in Bangladesh are coming down drastically. They are just now 2 crores. From 12 to 14 crores. So, where they have gone? They have been forced to convert, or some of them might have gone to the various countries, because I meet Bangladeshi Hindu in many countries outside. It is a disaster. कांग्रेस ने जैसे डॉक्टर अंबेडकर, सरदार वल्लभ भाई पटेल, एक इशू थे कि लेट ऑल मुस्लिम गोस टू बांग्लादेश और सो कॉल्ड पाकिस्तान, एंड ऑल हिंदूज कम्स टू इंडिया. बट वो नहीं हुआ. लेकिन एक बात हो सकते थे कि बांग्लादेश और पाकिस्तान का हिंदू को आप अपना फ्री चॉइस एक्सप्रेस करने के लिए मौका दीजिए. Whether we want to stay in India or whether we want to stay in Pakistan. So we force Pakistan on them. अगर गलती से मेरा जोरहाट में जन्म हुए थे, अगर जोरहाट उस समय बांग्लादेश का चला गया था, मैं भी बांग्लादेशी बन जाते थे, मुझे तो कोई पूछा भी नहीं होते थे. So many reluctant people, they have been forced to stay in Pakistan because of wrong Congress politics. Later on, जब बांग्लादेश क्रिएट किया गया था, तब भी एक मौका था कि भाई पूछ लीजिए हिंदू को कहां रहना है. We could have saved crores of Hindu. Today, the Hindu population in Bangladesh are coming down drastically. They are just now 2 crores, from 12 to 14 crores. So, where they have gone? They have been forced to convert, or some of them might have gone to the various countries, because I meet Bangladeshi Hindu in many countries outside. It is a disaster.
All right, for more on this, we have Payal Mehta live with us. Payal, thank you so much for joining me. Of course, if I just want to ask you, what would you say were some of the major red flags that Himanta Biswa Sarma has highlighted in his interaction with CNN News 18?
Well, to begin with, Himanta Biswa Sarma is somebody who does not mince his words. He speaks what he wants to really send out in loud and clear words over here as well. And very importantly, when he's speaking of the all important issue that Anand asked him about, the Bangladeshi issue that we are seeing right in our neighborhood, Himanta Biswa Sarma has blamed the Congress legacy for what we see in today's day and age, saying that first they unscientifically divided the whole into India and Pakistan. We were divided. And of course, unscientifically, also the division took place as far as the Northeast were really concerned. Remember, the Northeast has been the biggest casualty as far as the Bangladesh creation is really concerned. And that is something which he highlights. And he says that, Hindus were never given a choice to ask them whether they wanted to move to India, whether they wanted to stay in Bangladesh. And what we see today, the attack on the Hindus is most unfortunate in that respect. And Himanta Biswa Sarma's government has come up with a very, very clear-cut policy. Him, let me tell you, that there is a lot of demographic change that you see in a lot of districts that you see in Assam. And therefore, it has been mandated that if anybody wants to, sell a particular land over there or buy a particular land over there, they have to seek permission of the government, because the government is not very sure whether, for example, the minorities have taken over to become the majority in those states as well. So Himanta Biswa Sarma highlighting this very, very clearly over here, highlighting what the chicken neck really will mean, and also putting a question on those people who've come to India and settled down as Indians, that when it comes to a crucial time, will they pick Bangladesh or will they pick India?
Absolutely, of course. So some pertinent questions there, of course. In light of what we're seeing between a play out between India and Bangladesh, also he's spoken about the chicken egg threat and also spoken about how the Hindu population in Bangladesh has dwindled. What's your assessment of that?
Well, what he's really gone on to say is that, were Indians given a choice, were Hindus given a choice whether they wanted to stay in India or go to Bangladesh? The answer certainly it seems to be no. He's saying many Indians were forced to go into Bangladesh, and now they are facing the ire in Bangladesh as well, because, Hindus are being targeted. And we've seen right from the fact that one Ramakrishna Mission Mutt priest was targeted, to the fact that now, normal Indians are being targeted as well. That is something which is really pointing out that is not surprising. But this can be blamed because of the unscientific calculation that was done at that time. The Congress leadership, had done this at the behest of who God knows. And this is exactly what we are facing right now. But this is a very worrying situation. And of course, that's the reason the NRC becomes extremely important as far as the northeastern states are concerned, with Assam clearly being at the center stage of that. And therefore, because the CAA is being implemented over there and rules are in place as well, that's the reason you do not have a SIR happening over there.
Right, Pal. Also, I mean, given what we're seeing play out between India and Bangladesh, he's also mentioned how it could be a conducive environment for further Rohingya infiltration. Also, that's one of the major points that he's made here. What's your assessment? Do you think that what we're seeing play out between the two nations could in fact lead to that?
Well, Rohingyas are illegal migrants into the country, no doubt whatsoever. Mr. Biswa Sarma is speaking about the illegal migrants in the country. He's not just saying that because we have a large porous border, along with Bangladesh in many sectors as well, which covers several states, whether it's Tripura, whether it's Assam or the others as well. And that fencing is...
All right, so some big claims there by Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma on the chicken neck threat that he's pointed out, as well as the Rohingya infiltration being provided a conducive environment in the volatile situation and the tense situation that we're seeing play out between India and Bangladesh. He's spoken about multiple red flags that he's pointed out. He also spoke to CNN News 18 and raised concerns over chicken neck security challenges and alleged that Yunus is emboldening radical elements ahead of state polls also. So this is the latest that we're getting for you right now. However, we'll continue to bring you all the developments on this front and what it means for further India-Bangladesh ties going forward. All right, breaking news coming in. Congress leader has pushed Priyanka Gandhi for Prime Minister. Congress MP Imran Masood says, let Priyanka be Prime Minister and then see. Is Congress losing confidence in Rahul Gandhi? Now, that is the big question that emerges out of the statement that has been made. Now, we're talking about Congress MP Imran Masood, who has pushed Priyanka Gandhi to become Prime Minister. And the big question here then comes, is the Congress perhaps losing confidence in Rahul Gandhi?
प्रियंका जी ने सबसे पहले लास्ट टाइम जब बांग्लादेश के अंदर हो रहा था सबसे ज़्यादा बोलने का काम किया और प्रियंका गांधी को प्रधानमंत्री बनाइए ना, फिर देखिए कैसे जवाब देती है इंदिरा गांधी की तरह। जैसे पाकिस्तान के 2 टुकड़े करके हाथ में देकर आई थी ना इंदिरा गांधी, ऐसी प्रियंका गांधी ऐसा इलाज करके आएगी कि ये भारत विरोधी अड्डा नहीं बन पाएगा। प्रियंका गांधी जिस तरह का इलाज करेगी, इस चेहरे के ऊपर 2 आंखें हैं, ये इंदिरा गांधी के पोता पोती हैं, ये 2 आंखें हैं, इनको अलग अलग मत देखो।
All right, for more on this, we have Pallavi Ghosh live with us. Pallavi, let me just come to you. If you could just spell out for our viewers what we just heard there.
Entered Parliament, which was speaking out in support for the people of Gaza. That is one reference which has been made by the BJP, that she never feels as far as the Hindus being attacked in Bangladesh is concerned. But why is it that she only feels for the minority community? But then to be fair to Priyanka Vadra, even she had raised a voice regarding the Hindus being attacked in Bangladesh. That's one. Second, within the Congress party, there's a very two clear power center. One, of course, of Rahul Gandhi, second of Priyanka Vadra. And there is a group within the Congress who feel, and especially when the Congress loses election, who feel that Priyanka is a better strategist and it will make more political sense. So is Imran Masood, who in any case is considered to be closer to Priyanka than to Rahul Gandhi, also kind of insinuating that?
Right, absolutely. Of course, now the big question here that emerges is perhaps the Congress losing confidence in Rahul Gandhi. Do you think that is what's happening?
Well, it's quite possible. That is one clear point, which is quite possible. And, if you notice, every time you lose elections, there are voices within the Congress who start coming out. In fact, just recently, the former MLA from Odisha, who's now been expelled from the party, had also written an open letter to Mrs. Sonia Gandhi by saying that you have to get in Priyanka Gandhi Vadra because Rahul is, one, inaccessible. Second, usually the issues that he picks up is something which is not helping the Congress politically speaking.
All right, also joining us right now, Pradeep Bhandari. Thank you so much, sir, for joining me on the broadcast. I want to ask you what you make of these statements that have been made.
Well, clearly there is a Rahul Gandhi versus Priyanka Vadra going on out in the open in the Congress party. Congress versus Congress is taking place. And earlier also, if you recall, one of the leaders from Odisha who said that Congress, Priyanka Vadra, should be given the command, he was suspended from the Congress party. So Congress is fighting an internal struggle and Prime Minister Narendra Modi has aptly predicted it.
So, sir, do you then clearly see this as the Congress losing trust in Rahul Gandhi?
Well, it is Rahul camp versus Priyanka camp. Many in Congress we have lost trust in Rahul Gandhi. They are taking forward Priyanka Gandhi's narrative. So there is a sister versus brother competition going out there in the Congress party, and it is now out in the open. Those who are fighting among each other can never represent the voice of the people of the country, and this is why they are rejected.
Right, and that being said, of course, we're seeing that all does not seem to be going well for Congress at all. We're seeing that a lot of the alliance partners are now distancing themselves from Congress as well. That being said, how do you see this panning out going forward, sir?
Well, clearly, it is very clear that on one hand, Rahul Gandhi is speaking against the country in his trip in Germany where he wants democratic unrest. You have now people in the Congress who are pitching against Rahul Gandhi and pitching for Priyanka Vadra. You have alliance partners who are speaking against the Congress party, both Priyanka Vadra and Rahul Gandhi. Clearly, the Indian opposition in the alliance has fallen flat. It is out in the open. It is completely broken. And that is what the Honorable Prime Minister had predicted, that post Bihar you will see the one opposition member fighting against the other, one Congress leader fighting against the other.
All right, so thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast with your insights and perspective on this, sir. Let's shift our focus now. Congress leader Rahul Gandhi, who is currently on a visit to Berlin, launched a sharp attack on Prime Minister Narendra Modi, claiming that the Prime Minister's vision for India will fail and has tremendous problems. Rahul Gandhi said that the vision would create massive tensions in India and make Indians fight with each other. While acknowledging Prime Minister Modi's popularity, Rahul Gandhi maintained that a large number of people do not agree with his ideology and the vision of India that he has. In response, the BJP has now hit back strongly, accusing Rahul Gandhi of meeting anti-India elements abroad and spreading lies and propaganda on foreign soil, calling his remarks an attempt to undermine India and its institutions. And now, while Rahul Gandhi slams the centre and its policy, Congress MP Shashi Tharoor, once again breaking ranks, lauds the progress in Bihar. He said, "No question that the infrastructure is so much better than I had heard before." He added that roads are better too. Listen to this.
We do not, a lot of us do not agree with his ideology.
We do not agree with the vision of India that he has. We think that the vision will fail. We think that the vision has tremendous problems, will create massive tension in India, will make Indian people fight with each other. So we will fight it, right? And it's a clash between two visions of India. There is a wholesale capture of our institutional framework. When you look at our intelligence agencies, you look at the CBI, you look at the ED, they've been weaponized. Look at the number of cases that the ED and the CBI have against BJP people. You'll find the answer 0, right? And look at the number of cases they have against people who oppose them, and you'll find that pretty much most of them are political cases.
Once again, Rahul Gandhi has indulged in Bharat Badnami on foreign soil. There is nothing new in this. Rahul Gandhi should now rename LOP position not as leader of opposition but as leader of propaganda. Because going on foreign soil, meeting with anti-India elements, meeting with elements associated with George Soros who wants to destabilize India, and then spewing fakery and propaganda against India has become the full-time job of Rahul Gandhi. So time and again, Bharat ka karo apman, Bharat ki sansthaon ka karo apman, and China ka karo gungan has become Rahul Gandhi's only patch. To undermine India in Modi Virod, he can go to any extent of Desh Virod.
All right, so for more on this, we have Pallavi Ghosh live with us. Pallavi, thank you so much for staying on with us. Of course, now there's something to be said about the fact that he is saying these things on foreign soil. A lot of allegations there that he's meeting anti-India elements there also. What do you think triggered this?
Yeah, Rahul Gandhi's visits abroad have always stoked a lot of controversy. I mean, last time round also when he went, he had made these kind of comments calling the Prime Minister a dictator, raising question marks over a democratic process. This time round, the moment he landed, the picture of him came out of an aide of George Soros, which stoked one controversy. But now if you listen to his entire speech, he talks about the death of democracy. He talks about the fact that there is turbulence, how people are going to take to the streets, how elections are rigged, because he was asked a specific question as to why the Congress is not winning elections. He said, I think we won in Maharashtra and Haryana, but those elections were rigged. And this is this is what the BJP is saying, that when you go abroad, you have to talk about the message of India because you're an LOP. You cannot speak a language which is going to end up hurting the country and the country's image as well.
All right, we have more reactions that are pouring in also. Let's just listen to this.
राहुल गांधी ने भारत का पार्लियामेंट में विपक्ष का नेता होना था। भारत का पार्लियामेंट का अंदर उसका कोई परफॉर्मेंस नहीं है। हर बार पार्लियामेंट के संदर्भ में विदेश जाता है, भारत का विरोध बात विदेश में करता है। ये विपक्ष का नेता नहीं, भारत विरोधी नेता है। बाहर देश में बोल के उसको क्या मिलेगा? बाहर देश वाले आके हमारे देश को ठीक करेगा क्या? सुधारण करेगा क्या? विकास करेगा क्या? इसीलिए राहुल गांधी अभी भी बड़ा नेता नहीं बना है, छोटा बच्चे जैसे अभी भी बिहेव कर रहे हैं, वही राहुल गांधी है।
Lots of questions there being raised on the comments made by Rahul Gandhi, who is on a visit to Berlin, where he's pointed out quite a few things. He's spoken about how the Prime Minister's vision is flawed, and in fact, he does not believe that his vision is going to work. And even though he is very popular among the people of India, his vision has a lot of flaws. He's also spoken about the wholesale capture of our institutional framework. And Pallavi, let me just come to you on that also. What do you think he means by that?
This has been Rahul Gandhi's rhetoric, and in fact I remember when he carried the Bharat Jodo Yatra, and he makes a reference to that during his speech in Berlin also. He raised the point that India needs to be united. The BJP has divided India with its RSS BJP mindset on the basis of caste and religion, and as a result of it, what the Congress party is also facing is a complete dilution of all the institutional norms. He says the ED and CBI are in the control of the central government. He asked this question in Berlin also, that tell me how many cases have been filed against any BJP leader? 0. And more cases are filed against opposition leaders to try and silence them and to co-opt them. And then you are like a washing machine who take people from the Congress and other opposition parties who may have had those allegations of corruption against them, but all is forgotten once you join the BJP. Then he talks about the fact that electoral process, he made a reference once again to the Brazilian model, whose name found in reference to over 100 voter slips in Haryana. So this is his narrative. This is always going to be his calling card, whether it was in the Bihar elections, because even in that Bihar review meeting, he refused to accept the fact that there was something wrong with the Congress cadre on the ground. Instead, he blamed it completely on what he calls vote chori.
All right, Pallavi, thank you so much for that. Of course, we'll continue to track the repercussions of this and the reactions that are pouring in also. But for now, we're going to slip into a very short break. Don't go anywhere. News and updates will continue on the other side on CNN News 18.
Political parties.
For 20 years, we've been at it through power shifts and wars, financial upheavals, and inspiring triumphs.
India lifts the World Cup.
We were the constant in a whirlpool of change. For 20 years, we worked with one guiding philosophy: to chase the truth, to make sense. Celebrating 20 years of CNN News 18 makes sense.
This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
All right, welcome back to CNN News 18. Thank you so much for staying on with us. What's lined up for you now? Rattled by Operation Sindoor, Pakistan is now rushing to build an iron dome along the line of control. Intelligence sources have told CNN News 18 that Pakistan is urgently strengthening its defenses along the line of control in response to India's increasing drone and loitering munition capabilities. Let me just break this down further for you. Let's talk about the perceived impact of India's dominance in this region as well. Indian dominance in drone warfare clearly has unsettled Pakistan in light of what we see happen in Operation Sindoor. Pakistan is now scrambling, we're given to understand, to install anti-drone systems. The anti-drone system deployments has been spotted along the LoC. These are still early reports. Deployments near Ralakot, Kotli, Bhimber. Pakistan has approached China. Also, we're given to understand Turkey for these drones. Pakistan is finalizing the deal for 300 Fatah 1 rockets. Clearly spooked, Pakistan is fast-tracking now its weapons purchases, given India's munitions, loitering munitions and drone capabilities. Pakistan is also now overhauling aging armored fleet, we're given to understand. So this is the latest that we are getting right now. For more on this, we have Akash Sharma live with us. Also joining us on the broadcast, Lieutenant General DP Pandey. Thank you so much for joining me on the broadcast right now. Let's just talk about what we're seeing play out here. We're given to understand, Akash, that Pakistan is now rushing to build an iron dome of sorts, clearly rattled by India's growing capabilities and loitering munitions capabilities. If you could just tell our viewers what's happening.
Right. So you see, Pakistan is in fear, and we know it for a fact. And now we are learning that along LoC at 8 different places, Pakistan has in fact deployed counter drone systems, counter UAV technology, and in fact the systems that can jam and spoof the drones coming. At this point in time, we know it for a fact that Pakistan has been claiming their victory, despite the fact that they have received in fact injuries, deaths to their soldiers, and in fact their bunkers at the LoC and also the bases have been destroyed. But despite that, Pakistan has been going bonkers, saying that they have won Operation Sindoor, they have won the war against India, and that's the reason why they are constantly in fact in touch with the Chinese and people from Turkey because they want to, in fact, induct more and more weapons amid the fear that India can go for another strike. And we are learning about these systems that have been deployed, in fact, at 8 different places, as I mentioned earlier. 35 systems is what intelligence sources are telling us that have been, in fact, deployed along the LoC. Remember, during Operation Sindoor, loitering munitions were used by Indian Army to destroy, in fact, the targets, that were pre-decided. And after that, and in fact, at this point in time, given these scenarios, throughout the world, in the, conflicts that are ongoing or the wars that are ongoing, we know that how drones are being used, by the forces across the globe. And that's the reason why now Pakistan is trying to up its game in the counter UAV, counter drone technology. And we have been given to understand by the intel sources that they have deployed several sorts of systems along the line of control.
All right, welcome back to CNN News 18. Thank you so much for staying with us. I'm getting breaking news for you. Amid atrocities against Hindus in Bangladesh, there are protests which have been organized across India. This is the latest that we're getting for you. This is amid the atrocities that have been reported from Bangladesh. If you remember, this is in the aftermath of what we saw happen in Bangladesh. Dipu Chandradas, who was lynched and then his body set on fire publicly. In light of that, now protests are being organized across India to protest against the atrocities against Hindus in Bangladesh. For more on this, we have Akash Sharma live with us. Akash, protests have been reported across India. What can you tell us?
Well, I'm showing you the visuals right now from St. Martin Mark. You can see that protesters have gathered here in large number. They are not allowed to move ahead of this road as far as Bangladesh High Commission is concerned. So it is just 500 meters away from this particular place. But right now I'm showing you the visuals where these protesters have gathered here. I'll try to talk to them. क्या कुछ मांगे हैं, क्यों प्रदर्शन करना पड़ रहा है आपको?
बांग्लादेश में जो हो रहा है वो हमारा हिंदू के ऊपर इतना अत्याचार हो रहा है, हम हिंदुस्तान का भी सहेंगे नहीं है। और एक घुसपैठिया इतना हिंदुस्तान में भरा दिया, बांग्ला में भरा दिया, पश्चिम बंगाल में भरा दिया, दिल्ली में भरा दिया, पूरा भारत का एक स्टेट में भरा दिया, वो हम किसी हालत में सहेंगे।
यूनो सरकार को शांति नोबेल पुरस्कार मिला हुआ है। मैं देखो ऐसा प्रावधान होना चाहिए, जो ये आदमी जिस तरह से वहाँ मारकाट मचाई जा रही है हिंदुओं के साथ, इसका शांति नोबेल पुरस्कार वापस लेना चाहिए, ताकि वो पता चले दुनिया को ये शांति है, ये शांति का पुरस्कार दिया हुआ है। इसने माँ बहन बेटियों को कितनों का कत्लेआम और बलात्कार करवा दिया है, कितने लोगों को जिंदा जला दिया है। और इसमें सुनिए, जितने भी यहाँ बांग्लादेशी हैं, मैं तो भारत सरकार को कहूँगा कि तुरंत इनको बाहर करिए, तुरंत बाहर करिए।
और जो बार बार ये हमारे 7 सिस्टर्स को गलत अपने नक्शे पे शो करते हैं, तो हम उनको खुली चेतावनी देना चाहते हैं कि हम आपके बांग्लादेश के 7 टुकड़े करके रहेंगे। ये ना वो भूले कि हमने 1971 में घर में घुस के मारा था।
All right. So these protesters, basically, they are against of the atrocities, that are happening against the Hindu minorities in Bangladesh. And today, we are seeing that these people, under the banner of Vishwa Hindu Parishad, are protesting here near the Bangladesh High Commission. Remember, a number of developments are happening in Bangladesh, and right now we are seeing that how these people, associated with the Vishwa Hindu Parishad, are protesting here against the Yunus government in Bangladesh.
Absolutely, Akash. Of course, we can just hear the frustration. Emotions are clearly running high at this moment. We're seeing the spillover of the unrest and the volatility in Bangladesh as Muhammad Yunus turns a blind eye to all that is happening in Bangladesh right now. Of course, there's a lot of outrage over the lynching of Dipu Chandradas as well. If you could just talk to the people there and get us a sense of how they're feeling right now.
I can hear you, Him. If you can just repeat your question.
I'm just trying to ask you if you could perhaps talk to the people there and get us a sense of how they're feeling right now. Of course, we've heard some of the voices there. We can hear their frustration. Emotions are running high currently. If you can hear me, maybe we could talk to a few people there.
I'm unable to hear you, Hem, but once again I'll try to show you the visuals. They are also carrying the effigy, and there is a program of effigy burning as far as law and order situation is concerned. So we are seeing heavy deployment of Delhi police. So we are seeing in fact the heavy barricading and presence of Delhi police personnel, because they are very clear that they won't allow any protester from this particular point to move ahead. And in fact, Vajra Vahan are already there. Senior officers of the Delhi police are already there, and I'll try to talk to some more individuals as well as to when it is about this sort of protest. So what they want at this point in time, and what is, this protest is all about, given the fact that we all know that atrocities are happening. But with this particular protest, what is the kind of message that they want to convey? Ma'am, आप हमें बताइए किस तरह का मैसेज कन्वे करना चाह रहे हैं? आपको आगे तो अलाउड नहीं जाना।
मैं तो मैसेज यही करना चाहूँगी बांग्लादेश को, जो हमारे हिंदुओं को वहाँ पे सुरक्षित नहीं है तो वो यहाँ पे भेज दे, और हिंदुओं को मारने की उनको कोई जरूरत नहीं है। इस प्रोटेक्शन पे वो ना आए और इस तरीके की बातों को बिल्कुल ना करे। जिस तरीके से वो मैसेज हमें दे रहा है, हम भी उस तरीके से मैसेज दे रहा है। यूनिस सरकार अगर नहीं सुधरे तो हम सुधारने के लिए बैठे हैं, आगे लड़ाई करने के लिए बैठे हैं। हिंदुओं को अत्याचार करेंगे तो हम सामने आएंगे, आते रहे, आगे भी आएंगे।
ये पुतला वगैरह भी आप लेके आए, किसका पुतला जला रहे हैं आज?
यूनिस सरकार की पुतला जला रहे हैं, यूनिस सरकार की पुतला जलाएंगे, जलाते रहेंगे, और हमेशा अगर सबक ना मिली तो इससे सबक आगे बढ़ाएंगे। हिंदू हम एक है, एक ही रहेंगे।
क्या कुछ प्लान है यहाँ के बाद? यहाँ से आपको आगे जाना अलाउड नहीं है, तो क्या कुछ?
यहाँ से हम आगे जाएंगे एम्बेसी पे, जो बांग्लादेश एम्बेसी वहाँ तक जाएंगे, और ये हमारा अधिकार है। हम हिंदू भाई, सभी भाई, कहीं भी दुनिया में हिंदू होगा उसका अत्याचार बर्दाश्त नहीं करेंगे। हम इसके खिलाफ आवाज उठाएंगे। हिंदू एकता जिंदाबाद, जिंदाबाद है, जिंदाबाद से जिंदाबाद रहेगी। चाहे गांव हो, शहर हो, हिंदू किसी भी कस्बे का हो, कहीं भी रहता हो, वो हिंदू मतलब हिंदू है। उसके खिलाफ कोई भी कार्रवाई होगी हम बर्दाश्त नहीं करेंगे। आज ये हमें मैसेज देना है। बांग्लादेश तो क्या, दुनिया के हर मुल्क को हम ये मैसेज देंगे, जहाँ हिंदू है वहाँ हम सब हैं। अगर हिंदू सुरक्षित नहीं है, वहाँ सब भारत, हिंदुस्तान, पूरा देश हिंदुस्तान ये नहीं बर्दाश्त करेगा। वहाँ अपने पूरे दुनिया में हिंदुओं के साथ एक साथ खड़ा है, और हम खड़े रहेंगे। आज का यही मैसेज है कि हम ये अत्याचार नहीं करेंगे। जिस प्रकार हमारे एक हिंदू भाई की हत्या करी गई है, बड़ी बेदर्दी से मारा है, हो सकता है उसने कोई कुछ ऐसा कुछ बोला हो, लेकिन कानून है, कानून के तहत प्रक्रिया होनी चाहिए थी, जो कि वहाँ की सरकार ने नहीं करी। ऐसा अगर हम यहाँ करेंगे, हमारे यहाँ संविधान है, हम उसका पालन करते हैं, लेकिन अगर इस तरह की निरसंसता होगी हम ये बर्दाश्त नहीं करेंगे। जय श्री राम।
All right, so slogans are being raised, and in fact there you can see people here in fact protesting against the Yunus government in Bangladesh, and they say that they are moving, they are in fact they have plans to move towards the embassy and raise slogans and raise their, in fact send a clear message that the atrocities against the Hindus won't be tolerated.
All right, Akash, thank you so much for bringing us the latest on that. Of course, now in light of what we're seeing right now play out between India and Bangladesh, India's High Commissioner to Bangladesh, Pranay Verma, was summoned to the Bangladesh Ministry of Foreign Affairs. This is in the aftermath of the security tensions that we've seen play out in Bangladesh over the past few days. Now, as you know, ties between India and Bangladesh continue to worsen in the aftermath of the lynching of Dipu Das, in light of which we're also seeing the protests from where Akash was reporting and bringing us those voices clearly against the Muhammad Yunus government, who seems to have turned a blind eye to the atrocities that we have seen in Bangladesh against Hindus. So there are people protesting out on the streets. People are outraged by the lynching of Dipu Das, who was lynched and then his body set on fire. We could see, we brought you those visuals earlier as well. Now, in light of that, we're given to understand that India's High Commissioner to Bangladesh, Pranay Verma, was summoned to the Bangladesh Ministry of Foreign Affairs as well. So this is the latest that we're getting right now. From what we can tell you right now, this is in light of the depleting the security situation in Bangladesh. For more on this, we have Siddhant Mishra live with us. Siddhant, thank you so much for joining us. Now, Siddhant, we're seeing the people out on the streets. They're enraged by what is happening in Bangladesh. At the same time, we see that the Indian High Commissioner to Bangladesh, Pranay Verma, has been summoned to the Bangladesh Ministry of Foreign Affairs as well. What are the reasons that they're citing for this?
Well, that's right. The Indian High Commissioner to Bangladesh, Pranay Verma,
has been summoned by the Foreign Ministry of Bangladesh. In fact, in its release, Foreign Ministry says that this is regarding the security of diplomatic missions of Bangladesh in India. In fact, Bangladesh also raised the issue of the protest the other day outside the High Commission in India, which took place inside the diplomatic enclave. So it was a very small protest. 20-25 people gathered, and police did not even allow them to protest. They were immediately dispersed. But Bangladesh wanted to escalate it, and perhaps today they have summoned the Indian High Commissioner Pranay Verma to the Foreign Ministry. In fact, right now we are reporting from the Chanakyapuri area of New Delhi. In fact, behind me you can see massive protest is going on here in the national capital, demanding justice for Dipu Das, Hindu garment boy who was lynched by mob in Bangladesh. But you know, this protest is taking place outside the diplomatic enclave. This protest is taking place 1 kilometer away from the High Commission premises. And there is heavy police deployment today in the Chanakyapuri area. Thousands of police personnel, paramilitary forces, Jawans have been deployed so that protesters don't march till the High Commission building.
Right, Siddhant, I mean, we also have to talk about the fact that Bangladesh is raising a hue and cry over the protest that we saw the other day, where 20 to 25 people, which New Delhi has also clarified to them, were peacefully protesting in the diplomatic enclave. At the same time, turning a blind eye to the lynching of Dipu Chandra Das and the atrocities against Hindus there, due to which the people are enraged and out on the streets, and nothing's being said about that. The Mohammad Yunus government has pretty much seemed to have turned a blind eye to that.
That's right. In fact, you know, the other day they came up with a release saying that 10 of the accused have been arrested. But the fact is that the killing of Dipu Das has still not been properly investigated. There are multiple theories that are floating on social media. In fact, the newspapers in Bangladesh are also publishing multiple stories like he was promoted in his factory, and perhaps this which became reason for his lynching, etc., etc. But one thing has been proven, that he was falsely accused of blasphemy by the locals, by his own co-workers, and perhaps which led to his lynching in presence of the police personnel.
Absolutely, no, absolutely horrifying, the kind of reports that are emerging out of Bangladesh at this time. Of course, we'll continue to track all developments for you on that front. We're going to slip into a very short break, but don't go anywhere. News and updates will continue on the other side on CNN News 18.
This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
Begin with our top focus story, as Congress leader Rahul Gandhi, who is currently on a visit to Berlin, launched a sharp attack against Prime Minister Narendra Modi, claiming that Prime Minister's vision for India will fail and has tremendous problems. Rahul Gandhi said that the vision would create massive tensions in India and make Indians fight with each other. While acknowledging Prime Minister Modi's popularity, Rahul Gandhi maintained that a large number of people do not agree with his ideology and the vision of India that he has. In response, the BJP has hit back strongly, accusing Rahul Gandhi of meeting anti-India elements while being abroad and spreading lies and propaganda on foreign soil, calling his remarks an attempt to undermine India and its institutions.
There is a number of people in India who support Mr. Modi, and we cannot get away from that fact. But we do not, a lot of us do not agree with his ideology. We do not agree with the vision of India that he has. We think that the vision will fail. We think that the vision has tremendous problems, will create massive tension in India, will make Indian people fight with each other. So we will fight it, right? And it's a clash between two visions of India. There is a wholesale capture of our institutional framework. When you look at our intelligence agencies, you look at the CBI, you look at the ED, they've been weaponized. Look at the number of cases that the ED and the CBI have against BJP people. You'll find the answer 0, right? And look at the number of cases they have against people who oppose them, and you'll find that pretty much most of them are political cases. Capture of the institutional framework. If you're a large businessman and you try to support the Congress party, you're threatened, you're the ED, the CBI, these people land up. So there is an atmosphere in India where the institutions are not performing the role that they should be performing.
Once again, Rahul Gandhi has indulged in Bharat Badnami on foreign soil. There is nothing new in this. Rahul Gandhi should now rename LoP position not as leader of opposition but as leader of propaganda. Because going on foreign soil, meeting with anti-India elements, meeting with elements associated with George Soros who wants to destabilize India, and then spewing fakery and propaganda against India has become the full-time job of Rahul Gandhi. So time and again, Bharat ka karo apman, Bharat ki sansthaon ka karo apman, and China ka karo gungan has become Rahul Gandhi's only patch to undermine India.
All right, welcome back to CNN News 18 with me, Hem Korsara, and here's the latest that we are getting for you. Opposition MP John Brittis has questioned Congress MP Priyanka Gandhi, saying that it didn't really look good that a few hours before the government changed the name of Manrega and the rebranding was introduced, Priyanka Gandhi was in fact having tea with the Prime Minister, obviously referring to the pictures that had come out of that brief interaction also. So the Congress MP has now questioned that it didn't in fact reflect nicely on Priyanka Gandhi. Let's listen to this.
Couple of hours after bulldozing through the parliament to eliminate Manrega, to assassinate Mahatma Gandhi again. It was not a good scene for us to see that Priyanka Gandhi and others sitting at the tea party along with the Prime Minister. We would have expected that a better wisdom would have guided them.
All right, so this is the latest that we're getting right now. John Brittis, they're clearly miffed by the fact that Priyanka Gandhi Vadra's presence at the Speaker's tea party right before the rebranding and renaming of Manrega was being discussed and was in fact being opposed by the Congress. She was seen having tea with the Prime Minister, and that's exactly what he's referring to here as well. Now, John Brittis has hit out at Congress leader Priyanka Gandhi for attending that customary tea party which was hosted by the Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla, which was also attended by the Prime Minister. There you can see these visuals on your screen right now. Now, he has said that hours after Manrega legislation that benefits crores of Indian workers was dismantled in the parliament, it's unfortunate that some Congress leaders chose to attend that customary tea party and did not reflect nicely on the party at all. He cited at least various instances of such things happening in the past as well. He has hit out at Congress leader Priyanka Gandhi, questioning her presence at this customary tea party which was being hosted by the Lok Sabha Speaker, which was also attended by the Prime Minister. There you can see these visuals on your screens right now. Now, he cited various instances of the past as well when opposition has boycotted such gatherings to register their protest when it comes to that, including last year's winter session also when the opposition skipped the tea party to protest some other things that they were, or the insulting remarks against B.R. Ambedkar. Also, he's cited that as one of the instances where this has happened in the past, and in light of that, he's also questioned why it was necessary for Priyanka Gandhi Vadra to attend that customary tea party. For more on this, we have Pallavi Ghosh live with us. Pallavi, thank you so much for staying on with us. Now, John Brittis, they're clearly miffed by Priyanka Gandhi Vadra's presence at that customary tea party. Now, he has said that in the past, to register their protest, the party has, of course, boycotted this tea party, and this does not reflect nicely on the party.
We also have to understand the context. John Britas comes in from Kerala, the same state from where Priyanka Gandhi Vadra is a member of parliament from Wayanad. Second, the left and the Congress may be friends as a part of the India bloc, or maybe friends when it comes to West Bengal. But in Kerala, they are adversaries, and that's the dilemma, that's the contradiction as far as the India bloc's politics goes. So obviously, John Britas, other leaders are always going to seize those opportunities to start hitting out at anyone from the Congress. And in this case, of course, it happens to be someone from the Gandhi family. The left's resistance to the Prime Minister, to the BJP, taking on a fight against them in Kerala and at the centre, and thereby questioning the credentials of the Congress party and its ability to take on the Modi factor. And that's why the criticism coming in on Priyanka Gandhi Vadra. We saw those pictures where she actually broke away from the tradition of her brother Rahul Gandhi, who usually skips these kind of tea curtsies. She took part in the Chai Pe Charcha. She was sitting in the same row as the Prime Minister and the Speaker, and those pictures show that how she was smiling. She was very, very relaxed, and that clearly hasn't gone down very well with John Britas.
Now, Pallavi, of course, we were also discussing this earlier, the other comments that have come out as well, saying that Priyanka Gandhi should be made the Prime Minister. There are, of course, concerns there of whether the party is losing trust in Rahul Gandhi. That being said, now this comment has come forth also. It does reflect a deepening divide within the party itself. How do you think this is going to play out with the party going forward?
Well, there's always been multiple power centers in the Congress. As far as Priyanka was not into active politics, the dual power center was Sonia Gandhi as the Congress president, Rahul Gandhi as the vice president. Now you have a triple power center, even though Sonia has taken a little step backwards, is now of Priyanka Vadra as well. Within the Congress party, especially after electoral losses, voices start coming out from the Congress party questioning the ability of Rahul Gandhi to win elections. They feel that Priyanka is more savvy, she understands strategy, she's more hands-on and a better communicator. So there are within the Congress party a clear divide, as some preferring to be with Rahul Gandhi while some clearly pitching for Priyanka Gandhi.
All right, Pallavi, thank you so much for your assessment of that. All right, let's shift our focus now. Financial bonanza for India's women cricketers as BCCI increases match fee of women cricketers from rupees 20,000 to 50,000 per day for domestic cricket. This decision was taken at an Apex Council meeting on Monday in Mumbai. Those in the reserves are entitled to half of that amount. The Board of Control for Cricket in India has more than doubled the match fee of women cricketers and officials in domestic cricket, a move triggered by India's maiden ODI World Cup triumph and aimed at creating a more equitable pay structure across the circuit. So this is the latest that we are getting right now, something that is being deemed a financial bonanza, but it's just an ask for more equitable pay structure across the circuit. What we are seeing right now, the changes that have been brought in, that the BCCI has increased the match fee for women cricketers from 20,000 to 50,000 per day of the domestic cricket. And this decision, as I mentioned earlier, was taken at an Apex Council meeting on Monday in Mumbai. Those in the reserves are also, given to understand, entitled to half of that amount, and the Board of Control for Cricket in India has more than doubled the match fee for women cricketers in officials in domestic cricket, this move was triggered by India's maiden ODI World Cup triumph, which aimed at creating a more equitable pay structure across the circuit. So this is, we're given to understand, an attempt at a more equitable pay structure across the circuit, though the increase right now that we are talking about is from 20,000 to 50,000 per day for domestic cricket. For more on this, we have Shivani Gupta live with us. Shivani, thank you so much for joining me. Now, of course, the demand here is for a more equitable pay structure across the circuit. That being said, how do you assess this financial bonanza, is what it's being called?
Yes, so this is part of BCCI's efforts to make, the women's game more attractive, particularly for athletes, make it more viable, more sustainable for athletes on ground. So in 2022, for the benefit of our viewers, they would remember that the pay structure or the match fees for women's and men's cricket was equalized. That was the first big step to basically announce the intent that we want to grow women's game in India, and we've seen great results from it. The Indian women's team has just won the World Cup for the very first time at home. But after that also there were still concerns in the sense that those at the domestic level or those who play the domestic game, they weren't making enough. It wasn't always a very sustainable, career for them. So what we've seen now from the BCCI is that they've more than doubled the match fees for domestic matches from 20,000 to 50,000. The reserve players will get 25,000. And also, as far as the age groups are concerned in domestic circuit, their match fees has also gone up because the talent pool is also rising. There is a lot more interest in talent pool because of the WPL in India. And overall, to cash in on the performances of the Indian women's team so that you can grow the game and make it much, much larger, have more players show interest in it, you need to, of course, make it financially viable as well.
All right. Well, Shivani, thank you so much for bringing us the latest on that and for your analysis of that also. Now, let's just cut across to the protest that we were bringing you the visuals of earlier. We are getting more dramatic visuals. People there, you can see, absolutely enraged by what is happening in Bangladesh right now. The reports of atrocities against Hindus in Bangladesh, people out on the streets, enraged by Mohammed Yunus' silence on this entire matter. This is in the aftermath of the lynching of Dipu Das in Bangladesh. The man who was lynched on false allegations, were given to understand, of blasphemy. For more on this, we have Akash with us, who's been bringing us all the updates from these protests. Akash, what is going on right now? The protests seem to be spiraling out of control there. What can you tell us?
Oh yes, I'm showing you the visuals right now from the St. Martin Marg, just a 500-meter short of the Bangladesh High Commission. The police, in fact, are struggling to maintain the second layer of barricading, and protesters, are somewhere trying to climb on these barricades, and they are trying to move ahead and, in fact, want to go towards Bangladesh High Commission. Vijay Rajesh Bharadwaj giving you these shots where you can see, in fact, the heavy police deployment and also the barricades where protesters are somewhere trying to convince the police personnel that they want to somewhere protest and register their protest, and that's the only intention. However, police is very clear that they won't let them ahead. In fact, we have the third layer of barricading as well. And I'm showing you the visuals that how police personnel are trying it very difficult to, in fact, maintain the second layer of barricading. Rajesh Bharadwaj also giving you the shots of the DTC bus that has been placed here to obstruct the particular traffic, also because of the fact that these are large in number. These protesters are large in number, and it is really becoming difficult for the Delhi police right now, but they are somewhere maintaining the second layer of barricading, and in fact there is a third layer of barricading. These protesters are very clear that they are against the atrocities against the Hindus that are happening in Bangladesh, and they want to protest against the Yunus government in Bangladesh, and that's the reason why, under the banner of Vishwa Hindu Parishad, they people have gathered here near Durgabai Deshmukh South Campus, very close to the High Commission of Bangladesh, protesting against the Yunus government. We are seeing, in fact, the activities since the 12th of December in Bangladesh, and in somewhere in reply to the sort of atrocities committed against the Hindus. These protesters have gathered here and are protesting today.
Right, we also have with us Siddhant Mishra. Siddhant, there we can see the visuals on our screens right now, dramatic visuals. Scuffles have broken out, it appears, between the protesters and the police personnel there. They are trying to barricade that area and stop the protesters from reaching the Bangladesh High Commission. Siddhant, what can you tell us?
Well, that's right. So protesters have broken the first layer of barricade, and in fact they marched 50 meters ahead towards the Bangladesh High Commission. In fact, I am reporting from this side of the road, and you could see the sea of people right there and being stopped by cops at the barricade. In fact, they did manage to break the second layer of the barricade, but immediately senior officials, cops intervened, and the barricades were again placed here. The protesters were requested by cops to move behind, and now the announcement is being made by Delhi police to stop here. They are requesting the protesters not to march ahead. Now, High Commission is more than 700 meters away from this place where protesters are protesting. There has been 3 to 4 layers of barricading, arranged by Delhi police on the route to Bangladesh High Commission, and they have still not entered the diplomatic enclave. So this time around, police will not let the protesters enter the diplomatic enclave. This is the last barricade where they have been stopped outside the diplomatic enclave. So once they did try to break this barricade, in fact it was broken also, but immediately senior officials intervened and police personnel are present here in large numbers. Delhi police, the paramilitary forces, they all are present here in large numbers. Delhi police is fully prepared today. In fact, on both sides of the road, the police is deployed. Protesters are still attempting to break the second barricade. Now, Mohammad Yunus, Hosh Mein Aao, Bangladesh Sarkar, Murdabad, chants are being raised by the protesters. They are here to demand justice for the Hindu garment worker Dipu Das and also the atrocities against the Hindu minorities and other minorities in Bangladesh. So massive protest going on in the national capital today against the government of Bangladesh, against the conduct of the interim government of Bangladesh. Back to you.
Right, absolutely, Siddhant. What we are seeing right now is utter chaos. In fact, of course, as you mentioned there, the protesters are clearly very agitated. They are demanding justice for Dipu Das as well, the man who was lynched in Bangladesh. Now, Siddhant, of course, we're given to understand that they want to reach the Bangladesh High Commission, something that the police will not allow them to do. There we can also see the visuals of the protesters snatching the barricades. In fact, Siddhant, if you could just tell us of the measures which are in place to stop the protesters, because right now from what we're seeing, the protests seem to be spiraling completely out of control.
Well, that's right. So adequate arrangement has been made by Delhi police. In fact, the senior officials of Delhi police are present here on ground. In fact, you could see that there is a massive Delhi police deployment on both sides of the road. From the start of the diplomatic enclave till the Bangladesh High Commission, this entire area has been sanitized. This entire area has been cordoned off. There is no vehicular movement right now on the roads of Chanakya Puri, especially on this route which goes towards the Bangladesh High Commission. And on my right, you can see sea of people. The protesters from Vishwa Hindu Parishad and Bajrang Dal have gathered here in large numbers protesting against the government of Bangladesh. In fact, they started from a metro station. They broke the first layer of barricade. Started marching towards the second layer of barricade. So this is the second layer of barricade where we are reporting from. In fact, Akash is on the other side of the road, and you can see the senior officials are present there. The entire protest is being videographed also, because tomorrow Bangladesh may come up with some fresh allegations, claim, etc. So the entire event is being videographed. In fact, the cops are appealing to protesters not to march towards the High Commission, not to take law in their hands. In fact, now you could see the senior leaders from the protesters are also speaking to the protesters, requesting them not to march towards the High Commission. And now the protesters are chanting Hanuman Chalisa. People are angry. Protesters are angry over the atrocities against the Hindu community in Bangladesh. They are questioning the interim government of Bangladesh. They are questioning the conduct of the interim government of Bangladesh, and this entire campaign got reignited after the killing of Dipu Das, who was lynched by mob only 80 kilometers away from Dhaka. And in fact, initially there was no FIR registered in the matter. Only after the media coverage, media spotlight, Yunus government came in action. Only after Amnesty International raising the issue, Yunus government came in action, and 10 people have been arrested. So people are angry here in India over the conduct of the government of Bangladesh. But so far, this protest is going peacefully. Protesters are listening to the cops. Cops are coordinating with the leaders from Vishwa Hindu Parishad and Bajrang Dal. Cops are requesting them not to take law in their hands. Their cops are allowing them to take out march, protest peacefully. We could also see placards. We could also see placards condemning Mohammad Yunus, boycott Bangladesh, हिंदुओं का अपमान नहीं सहेगा हिंदुस्तान. These are the messages written on the placards being carried by the protesters. In fact, large number of people have gathered here at Chanakyapuri outside the diplomatic enclave. In fact, you could see right there the message is all eyes on Bangladeshi Hindus. So very interesting placards are being carried. Protesters are carrying right now with a special message for Bangladesh in solidarity with the Hindus of Bangladesh. Boycott Bangladesh. In fact, many placards holding Mohammad Yunus's picture saying boycott Bangladesh. So definitely unprecedented scenes on the streets of national capital where today people have come in large number to protest against the interim government of Bangladesh. Back to you.
Do stay on with us, Siddhant. We also have Akash Sharma, who's also on the other end of the Bangladesh High Commission. He too is bringing us all of these visuals, unprecedented gathering there, very close to the Bangladesh High Commission. Akash, this is fast turning out to be a security nightmare, something that is away from the stance that India has been taking, talking about the fragmented protests outside the High Commission earlier, also demanding justice for Dipu's lynching. And now this massive protest, how is there going to be a justification coming from India? Because this can become an issue when it is about security.